But while we're on the topic of retro, did you all see the announcement of the SNK Neo-Geo? They're re-releasing the Neo-Geo, and that is pretty wild because I first saw this and I just kind of brushed it off. I was like, that's whatever. You know, every couple of years they bring out a new Neo Geo thing, and it's usually some kind of mini console, digital console, with like emulated games and digital games baked into the console. You know, and it's usually shitty. It's not bacon. It's not. Here, I'll bring up the Discord. It's actually kind of crazy because they've reproduced the hardware seemingly, obviously with some modern touches, but there's no emulation. It's completely hardware. I don't know what the word is, like hardware accurate or like hardware comparable. Um, Yeah, so it's not a mini, because those are lame, and I don't care about that. I don't care about those things. Uh, Here, take a look at this. Neo Geo Advanced Entertainment System, pre-order now, November 12th, 2026. Key features: legendary video game console reborn, one-to-one original console, replica from the 90s, unmistakable, blah, 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 blah. Hardware faithful re-implementation, no emulation, powered by re-engineered ASIC chips. So those were like the original chips. They've been re-engineered. They basically went back and created reproduced the same chips again. I'm sure there's some modern touches, but that's important to note because it's not just simply like a fucking Raspberry Pi or some shit. You know, like it's not just emulating the console. Like on a hardware level, it's the Neo Geo, compatible with new Neo Geo AES game cartridges and backwards compatible with the original Neo Geo AES cartridges. So yes, it should be. Quality of life features, low latency HDMI, original AV outputs for CRT enthusiasts, dip switches for language overclocking and display mode selection, permanent high score saves, so that's going to require a memory card. Includes the wired 15-pin connector arcade stick, a one-to-one replica. So that is very, very interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's read more. Uncompromising gaming machine. Gameplay on the Neo Geo AES Plus is not achieved through emulation. Instead, the console is powered by its legacy ASIC chips, ASIC, re-engineered by modern standards to accurately replicate the original machine's hardware and software. The system natively plays game software from both new and old game cartridges for the most authentic retro gaming experience. Not emulation, not FPGA approximation, but true console reincarnation etched back into the silicon. So, ASIC. Yeah, so very interesting. Here's the thing. Neo Geo games are fucking expensive. So are they still gonna be expensive like whenever they release the new cartridges and stuff? Because they've shown the list of games that they're bringing out. It's all the usual suspects. Last Blade 2, KOF 98, I think, Metal Slug. But those games individually, those cost as much as a fucking console, or close to. So one would hope that this would bring down the prices of cartridges and the games. The console itself is apparently like $200 something USD. I don't have the exact number, but I remember people being pretty happy with the price. It's like not crazy, you know. It's not like a modern console price. So that's actually great and kind of like unusual. Whenever we think about Neo Geo stuff, we always think about how expensive everything is. So the fact that the console itself is actually going to be decent is nice. Um, but I would really like to see new games. And what I mean by that is like not like reprints of like a new reprint of an old game. I would love to see new games made for the Neo-Geo. And that's already been happening. I think the studio is called Watermelon or something like that, but they made a really good beat 'em up for the Neo-Geo, like in the modern day. They just made it to the specs of the Neo-Geo, and I'm pretty sure they made like the cartridges and everything, and it was again very expensive. But I would love for that to happen, and like I said, things like that are kind of already happening, like where people like indie devs and stuff, they make retro style games, not just simply copying the aesthetics, but actually like according to the code. Like there's a handful of devs that make games to the specs of the Game Boy, for example, or Nintendo, so on and so forth. And like I said, with the Neo Geo as well. So I would love to see more stuff like that. And I think that's how you get broader appeal. That's how you get butts in the seats, because this is going to be appealing for a lot of old heads, right? This is going to be appealing for a lot of older folks, but I don't know how, like beyond that, I don't know how appealing it is, right? Like, you know, younger folks are just going to be like, why would I want that? Can't I just download the ROMs? Can't they just emulate, blah blah blah? And it's an opportunity, because if they've gone this far, to actually like reproduce the tech down to the chips, right? It seems to me like there's a level of commitment there that I haven't seen previously. And when, you know, we were talking about, it seems like every couple of years there's some kind of Neo Geo thing that comes out, and it's like shitty. There's always like these shitty like imitation ROM emulator things, mini consoles. But this seems to be an effort to actually make a lot of the longtime older fans happy, and they're putting a lot of effort into it, is what I want to say. So they might as well put even more effort and try and publish some new games. That would be cool. Anyways,